Lac Sports Network is proud to present the Colonial Athletic Association Men's Lacrosse Championships. Today, live from Garber Field in Amherst, Massachusetts, it's the CAA Championship game. The 4th-seeded Drexel Dragons looking for their second straight upset as they face the 2-seed, the 12th-ranked team in the country, the Towson Tigers. What's going on, everybody? Alongside the former Cornell standout Mitch Belisle, I'm Travis Eldridge. This is what it's all about. At the beginning of every season, every coach in the country will tell you one of their check marks for the year is to win a conference championship. Somebody's going to do that today.
Yeah, it's the easiest way into the NCAA tournament. So if you want to win a national championship, you start with your conference first. And both of these teams have gone through some ups and downs in conference and are looking to get the grand prize tonight.
One game away here this afternoon. Let's show you how we got here. Flashback to Thursday's semifinals. In the first game, Drexel came out firing 9 goals in the first half against the top-seeded UMass Minutemen. That's more than UMass typically gives up in an entire game. What did the Dragons do so well, especially early?
Well, they came out breathing fire. The Dragons were flying. Every single ground ball, they were the first two. They were catching up, but they were back-checking into their own zone. So it just looked like they had an extra speed burst. So matching that intensity is something they're going to have to do today.
Dragons able to finish off the upset, a two-goal victory over UMass in that one. The second semifinal, Towson started off with a back-and-forth game against Delaware, then used a 9-goal run between the second and third quarters to really take control against the Blue Hens.
Yeah, and ultimately it was individual efforts overpowering the Delaware defense. You saw guys like Sunday, the names we expected, winning their one-on-one matchups, getting to the cage, and then making them pay when they got there. So it'll be interesting to see what Drexel does on the defensive side to try to counter that today.
So as we look ahead to this championship game, let's focus in on the Dragons offense because they've got a big three that has been stellar throughout the conference in Reed Bowering, Matthew Varian, and Marshall King. With the three of them, what has made them so dynamic and difficult to guard?
I think the big thing is they're so complementary with each other. You've got King, who's such a good distributor, smart playmaker. You've got Bowering, who's that Canadian finisher on that left side, and then Varian can do a little bit of everything. And we saw that on Thursday, where he was able to score goals from every different role, whether he was off ball, whether he was dodging for himself, and really just showing how dynamic they can all be.
The three of them combining for 13 points in that win over UMass back on Thursday. At the other end, they're going to have to try to solve Tyler Canto in goal for Towson. The first time they met in the regular season, Canto was 17 saves against the Dragons.
Yeah, and he really stepped up huge. A lot of man-up opportunities for Drexel in that game, so Canto really had to bail them out of those chances and did a nice job of that. He was up and down early, but has come on extremely strong throughout conference play and here in the playoffs when it really counts.
So this is it. It all comes down to the championship game of the Colonial Athletic Association. We have face-off on the other side right here on Lac Sports Network. And the rain has stopped here in Amherst, Massachusetts. Great weather for the 2-seeded Towson Tigers meeting the 4-seeded Drexel Dragons. Travis Eldridge and Mitch Belisle back with you here on Lac Sports Network for the CAA Championship game. Getting to know our starting goalies. On one end, the freshman Ross Blumenthal for Drexel, getting his 11th straight start, came into and took the starting role over against St. Joe's in the Philly 4 Lacrosse Classic back in March. He has started every game since. At the other end, Tyler Canto, he has been the guy all season long, came into the fall as the third goalie on the depth chart, but he earned his keep in the spring, and he has earned his role as the starting goalie in today's CAA Championship game. At the face-off X, once again, no Alex Woodall for Towson. Instead, it's going to be Jack McNallen, the junior from Amherst, New Hampshire, getting the start for the Tigers. He'll go up and battle against Jimmy Coita for Drexel. Coita really dominated this matchup just a week ago in the regular season.
Travis, he dominated that matchup, but when it came down to push came to shove at the very end, McNallen with 2 huge goals, including the game-tying goal and then the eventual kind of seal-the-deal goal, the 11th goal.
And we are underway here in the CAA Championship game. Somebody's going to punch their ticket with the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament over the next 2 hours or so, and the Tigers will get the first offensive set of the afternoon.
And Travis, a little rainy weather this morning, no UMass at Garber Field. I was a little bit worried, but the atmosphere is very high level right now. It's a CAA championship, so these teams are fired up.
Skip pass across to Monahan, just missed.
Teams are fired up, the sidelines are up, the parents are excited, so it's a great day for lacrosse here. I was getting fired up out there on the field, made me want to play.
This is Brody McLean starting with it from X. Winds one and sails it high. Part of the starting attack unit that has been the starting attack unit all season long for the Tigers. McLean joined by Brendan Sunday and Luke Frommer. This is Sunday working at X. He draws the top cover assignment for the Dragons and Sean Quinn. Sunday, hands free, and the Tigers are on the board first.
Sunday, starting off Saturday right. He did a nice job of dodging for himself. That was his trademark against Delaware, and that really led them to the victory with those individual winning one-on-one matchups. He does a nice job of dodging, hesitating for a half second, and then you'll see as he gets into his defenseman, he leans in with his body, and Sean Quinn's not able to get back in position as he steps off and takes that shot. So great job, good individual effort there, and that's really what led them to victory against Delaware. So Drexel's going to have some answers for those 1v1 dodges.
Sunday's tying championship records in the CAA with his 5 assists and 8 points on Thursday in the semifinal win over Delaware. We've got a whistle off of the faceoff, and a violation on the Dragons gives it to Towson for the second time. So back-to-back faceoff wins for the Tigers and Jack McNallen.
And with Woodall graduating this year, how fired up has Towson got to be about McNallen just stepping up and playing so well down the line here. He's got one more year on the team, so got to be excited about that, knowing that they have a next man up ready to go.
Woodall is on the sideline. Once again, his helmet off. He participated in pregame warm-ups. Was told entering Thursday that he was available for that game, as he continues to recover from an upper body injury. Here's Luke Frommer from the wing. Dodges behind. McLean, backhand shot stopped by Blumenthal.
Nice job there by Blumenthal, staying big, hugging that pipe, and doing a really nice job of making sure that he's not giving it anything easy on those wraparounds.
And so Drexel gets their first stop.
Hugs his pipe, stays big, covers up with his feet. Nice work there.
May have lost it for a second, but able to recover it, find the ball, and get the stop. Here's our first look at this potent Drexel offense today. Here's Colin Mailman coming out of the midfield. Sends it to Reed Bowering, part of that big three for the Tigers.
And Mailman's being covered there by Goodrich, so
it's a great matchup to watch. Nick Fox bounce shot sails high.
I was going to say, what a luxury to be able to cover him with the short stick. When you have someone as good as Goodrich, then you can save your pole for a secondary dodger. Now, Mailman typically is on that pole as a first midfielder.
We saw Mailman's electricity in that semifinal win versus UMass. 3 goals. Here he's got a step on the All-American. Shot saved by Canto.
Good take there, but Canto saw that the entire way, and that, good first move there. Mailman got a bit of a step on Goodrich, but if your goalie can track that shot the whole way and you're making sure you're shooting that from 8-9 yards, that's a save that they're relying on Canto to make, and nice job getting it up and out quickly as well.
How important is it to possibly change levels in those type of situations against these good goalies?
I think you have to, especially you got to hide your stick at some point. There, Canto's able to see his stick the entire time.
McLean! And the Tigers have a couple of early. It's 2-0 Towson.
And speaking of hiding your stick, another way to hide your stick, shoot right around your defender's body. So nice job by McLean there, using his man as a screen, kind of with that little post up, realizes he has enough time to set his feet. It's good defense, just gives him a little bit too much of a gap, and he sets that feet and shoots actually around 2 defensemen. So nothing Ross Blumenthal can do there as that comes around 2 guys. For him, that's a tough one to see.
Brody McLean's 33rd goal of the season. He had 4 goals in the semifinal victory against the Blue Hens. And he has been a key to the success of the Tigers offense all season long. Face-off win for Drexel, their first of the afternoon. Remember, in the regular season meeting between these two, just a week ago, last Saturday, McNallen struggled overall against Coita. Coita going 17 of 24. It's around 70%, along with 11 ground balls. So it'll be interesting to watch the dynamic at the X, how different things are from just last week.
Well, and I think the thing that popped out to me on Thursday was Drexel might not have won the faceoff every time, but they were swarming every ground ball. And so good to see them able to pick up that ground ball off the wing, and a really nice job there by the wingman of coming and providing that support and big hustle play. Those make all the difference.
Matthew Varian draws the top cover assignment for Towson. Kobe Smith tracking him. Varian stripped away, but Mailman there to scoop it up. Still under 30 seconds on the shot clock. Mailman gets around a couple defenders, gets free! The Dragons are on the board. It's 2-1.
Mailman just continuing to work here. He draws the slide and then re-dodges the slide. Now you can see on the Garrett Zangala, he was the initial defender. He gets slid to and he's looking away. He needs to come back. If that player re-dodges, he needs to do a good job of supporting his teammate there. So he kind of got caught in no man's land after he got slid to. He's looking to recover back to the inside. He probably could stay on that double for half a second more to make sure Mailman can't slip underneath there. But great effort by Colin Mailman to keep his feet moving.
But a face-off win by McNallen. Quickly the other way, Sunday! And that is the bread and butter for the Tigers. We saw it from the very beginning of the season with Alex Woodall winning face-offs against Hopkins and his domination at the X, feeding Sunday right there in that slot. That has been the spot for Towson to strike quickly.
Well, it's funny. Coita did such a good job on the face-offs the first game, but the few that McNallen won, he went right down and got a good opportunity. Similar situation there. They need to do a good job of, even if Coita's losing it, making sure not to give up those defensive breaks.
Here comes Sunday rolling for Max. Drew Laundrie stripped of the ball, and it's scooped up by the Drexel Dragons.
Little bounce pass there by Jack Farrell, nifty. Always a little risky on a wet field.
Let's see if Drexel goes in transition. They do. Canto with the stop. Transition chance there for Cam Harris, the defensive midfielder, but shoots it right into Canto.
And Harris plays with a lot of swagger. He's not afraid to mix it up and definitely not afraid to shoot when he has. I thought that was a good take, but great save by Canto there.
An offsides call against Towson gives it right back to Drexel. That was a point of struggle for Towson throughout the middle part of the season was turnovers. At one point ranked one of the bottom 5 teams in all Division I in turnovers per game, up over 20 per contest, but those numbers have come down significantly once they've gotten into the meat of CAA play.
They played a real clean game against Delaware. I think Drexel did the same. There weren't a ton of turnovers for these two teams, and that's why they're in the championship right now.
Mulcahy able to tiptoe the crease, gets it to Varian. That backhand shot is so deadly, barely needs any room.
Nice job reaching in front of the goal and getting extra eyes on the ball.
Here's Jack Mulcahy, freshman from Chester Springs, Pennsylvania. Gets it back to Varian, the number 1 points guy. Give and go to Mulcahy. That's pretty.
And that's about as easy of a goal as Mulcahy's going to get. You catch that ball, that's a guaranteed 1-0 with the goalie. So excellent work by Varian here. He recognizes the short stick matchup. He does a nice job of drawing that early slide. And Towson, that's the slide you have to make, but you got to pull your 2 slide or your second support person. So tough look there, not getting that second slide. And that's frustrating because that's about being on the same page. And so that's 2 guys working hard together. You need the other 4 to make sure they're working together.
This Drexel offense ranking first in the CAA, one of the top offenses in the country coming into this game. Top 15 with more than 13 goals per game, and they're really dangerous when you get Mailman and Mulcahy and Nick Fox all getting goals and production coming out of the different spots than just your big three attackmen.
Well, yeah, the first 7 minutes, the attack really hadn't engaged at all, and they were still right in the game, and then you get Varian the ball, and they're able to score again. So you can see they're balanced top and bottom, and that's similar to Towson. They've got threats on both sides.
Sunday slips down, and scooped up, a chance for transition for Drexel. Here comes Matt Klingus, the long pole. Not typically an offensive threat, and he gets out of trouble, gets it to Varian. A little 2-on-1, over to Bowering, he just missed, and a back up to the Tigers. Missed opportunity for Drexel.
You don't see that often, a Canadian in front and their strong hand missing that. I think he should have just taken a little off that. He shot that as hard as he could from about 5 yards out. He probably could have taken his time, but Cantos made some big saves, so he wanted to try to make sure he blew it past him. Just wasn't able to hit the net.
A little CAA championship game excitement. You can tell there's a little extra pressure in this one. Drexel played really free and loose in that semifinal, but I think it's really difficult to come out with that same type of energy and not be nervous when you know you are 60 minutes away from an NCAA tournament berth.
Well, and they're 36 hours out from the last time they played, too. You can see that the legs look a little heavier than they did on that Thursday night. You got the night game atmosphere, playing in front of a home crowd.
Stolen away here by Sean Quinn. He had his first career goal in that semifinal win. This time he dishes it off to the offense and Reed Bowering.
Smartly, I may add. It's the right play there. Done a nice job here of getting some long possessions, getting some stops defensively. Take advantage, let your offense continue to work.
Bowering, the junior from Coquitlam, British Columbia, had a trio of goals against Towson in the regular season meeting. He, Marshall King, and Matthew Varian, such a potent part of this offense. Three of them combining for more than 56% of the points for this team, but that shot is wide and a backup by Towson. Heads up plays by the Tigers here early on defense.
And that's a tough angle shot from Mulcahy. I don't hate the shot. I think he saw Canto dropping his stick, so looking for that top corner, that's a nice little play, but you got to make sure you have backup there before you shoot that. And ultimately, that's on the attack, but I think they're thinking he's going to move it on, so they're giving him support at X. So that's a tricky spot to be in. You either got to score or not take it. There's your only two options.
Look at a member of the second midfield unit in Casey Wasserman. You might recognize that name. His brother Bryce, part of Major League Lacrosse, now playing with the Rattlers. Wasserman all the way around. He tried to find Frommert on the doorstep, and that was ruled a pass, and it goes out of bounds.
Casey's brother Bryce, I think he was the reason I was like, you know what, I'm making the right decision hanging him up. He burned me for about 4 goals in my final MLL game, and I was like, that's right. Yep, I'm old, and this is time to hang him up.
Bryce and Casey both coming out of Texas. Cool opportunity for Bryce to get a chance to go home and play with the Dallas Rattlers this season. Here's Mulcahy, already got a goal, but bodied up by 2 great short stick D-middies for Towson and a turnover.
Great double team there by Wilkerson and Goodrich.
Gray Bowden on the doorstep to Frommert. And it goes.
I even wasn't sure whether that was on the inside or the outside. There was stunned silence here in the stadium.
Everyone waited for a second.
Drexel knew, they were hanging their heads, but everyone was waiting to cheer until it went in. It did look a little bit on the outside here. But good defense, getting low, driving with his legs, and then pinching on that double team. That was what stung them the first time around. They weren't able to stay on that double and pinch it, but nice job there by Frommert to finish it just inside the pipe.
And give the assist to Gray Bowden, just his second assist of the season. Typically, it's Kobe Smith, the long pole, who's going in transition, up to 10 points this year, the sophomore, but this time it's the junior from Westminster, Maryland.
And he had a goal in the semis, so he's feeling the offense here as he gets late in the season, getting a little more confident, getting over that midline.
Nearing 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter of this CAA championship game. The 4-seed Drexel Dragons taking on the 2-seed Towson Tigers. Drexel, of course, upsetting UMass, the top seed in host school, on Thursday in the semifinals. Looking to make it 2 straight upset wins and earn a spot in the NCAA tournament.
Good job here by Towson. They seem to have really shored up their defense in terms of staying on those doubles and continuing to drive away. Obviously, being a defensive guy, I noticed those things a little bit more, but nice work there by Towson making that adjustment early.
Here's Nick Fox, sends it behind to Varian. Varian trying to feed down low. There's Bowering. Not sure if that was the intended guy, but Bowering, right place, right time, and that's his 100th goal of his career.
100 goals.
As a junior.
That's an impressive mark. Yeah, I actually thought Varian was forcing it here, but I think he saw Bowering, and everyone collapsed down thinking that he was looking for McClellan. McClellan kept cutting through. Nice job of crashing. Oh, you know what? I think he was looking for McClellan there, but either way, Bowering has been the recipient of a couple of those where it's aimed for someone else and it comes right to him, so good job putting it away.
Either way, they'll give Matt Varian the assist, his second of the afternoon so far. And back-to-back face-off wins for Jimmy Coita, but stripped away. Garrett Zingalia with a nice check. And McNallen able to pick it up.
Real nice check there, just using that length he's got. Wrap that stick around.
To McLean, to Sunday, kick save by Blumenthal.
Big save by Blumenthal, dropped down into that butterfly and kicked his foot out, just catching it to the top of his laces.
It's like using a hockey goalie pad type of look.
Definitely using those feet to his advantage. Wow. Really did a great job of kicking that foot out at the last minute. He was in position, but then kicked his foot out to make sure to get that extra extension.
A dangerous pass to Mailman, but he's got a little unsettled situation in the substitution game. Quick shot. Backed up here by Drexel. Towson probably has a little bit of an argument there.
Yeah, that was just, I think the ref didn't see exactly where the Towson man was directly behind his back, but that certainly should have gone to Towson.
Marshall King triggers from the corner. He's been relatively quiet in this first quarter. He had 3 goals and 2 assists in the semifinal win. Reed Bowering! Ryan Genord. It's the sophomore from Michigan. Drexel's got a lead.
And Travis, those wing dodges are so difficult to defend, especially with Bowering coming over to set that pick there. The wing dodge is so hard because you're trying to force your player below GLE, but then if they get that underneath, especially with the dive now, they can dive right across the goal line, mouth of the goal. So you really got to be confident that you can force him up and out, or that you have a slide coming to make sure that he can't dive across that crease there. Nice job by Genord of towing that line and getting the shot in before he gets in the crease.
Genord also a high school hockey player.
A lot of hockey references these last couple of weeks. You wouldn't think the CAA would be the conference that would be the hockey crossover.
And another face-off win here for Coita, who seems to have figured out McNallen there at the X. Cam Harris takes it all the way in and gets it to Varian. First lead of the game for Drexel, and this is very similar to the type of game we got in the regular season. A little more high scoring so far. But both these teams really traded punches in the regular season meeting, never more than a 2-goal difference between the two. Varian. Stripped away by Kobe Smith.
Great trail check there.
Showing you why he's an All-American candidate this season. But around midfield, a little trouble from Gray Bowden, but Greg I and company able to settle things down.
Towson hasn't had a lot of settled offense since the very beginning of this game, so look for them to get it spinning around. One thing that Coach Nadalin talked a lot about was spinning the ball through X. When they are able to get the ball through X, they can stretch that defense out and find those gaps with their one-on-one matchups. So they need to do a good job of continuing to move that ball.
Timmy Monahan had himself a big game in the semifinal, and he dances with it down the alley. Timmy Monahan sticks one.
Timmy Monahan does not like Dragons. 4 goals last time he played them. Getting the scoring started in the first quarter for himself here. Nice job of just continuing to work. And I thought defensively, not a bad job. They sent the slide maybe a hair too late, but Jack Farrell comes over and does a pretty nice job laying the body. Cam Harris maybe a little stick aggressive there, but great job by Monahan following through with his shot, putting that just off the hip of Blumenthal, and great work there.
So
Again,
what you're saying,
individual efforts.
What you're saying is he would not open his doors to the Mother of Dragons, Game of Thrones.
You know what? I knew that was coming, and I don't watch Game of Thrones.
I just started watching.
Count me the only guy in America.
I'm getting caught up as Drexel wins the face-off. Here comes Koida, all the way through, stripped away by Woodall.
Oh, tough.
Excuse me, not Woodall, Goodrich.
Tough play. Great effort there by Koida. Shoots it, gets his own rebound, and just keep working. Keep working. Bring that to the corner. Instead, he throws a tough pass into double coverage.
This is Kobe Smith. Remember, he's an offensive threat, but instead going to settle things down for the Tigers. Towson's 5th straight trip to the CAA championship game. Certainly a stage they are comfortable on.
Wow.
Severo was tripped.
That was one of those
flag.
where it was an accidental. He kicked his own foot. You know, the Drexel defenseman kicked his own foot behind his foot, but that should still be a trip.
Instead, the Dragons will get the possession.
If I could say I didn't mean to do it and get away with penalties, I think I probably would have had a lot more.
Never would have had a penalty. But it's stripped away in the clearing game. Mo Silla.
Looks like he's got some juice in his legs. I've seen him chasing around players and doing a nice job of causing that disruption. So good work there, creating that turnover at the midfield. That's a good place to throw those checks where you're not in a ton of danger and you can be a little bit more stick aggressive.
Yeah, the freshman from Rockville, Maryland, coming out of the Landon School. He has found his way into this lineup. This is 7th game of the season. Really started playing during CAA conference play. Monahan once again picking up a short stick matchup. Skip pass across, and that is pretty. Too easy for Luke Frommert.
Great look there. Recognizes the short stick matchup, and Monahan, knowing he has a short stick, is able to get his hands free there. And just Frommert finding that seam in the defense. He didn't move a lot, but he moved just enough. You can see him 1, 2, 3, 3 little steps. Those little steps, that's the difference between a Division I lacrosse player who's playing at a very high level and someone who's still learning the game. He knows to take those 3 micro steps to find that gap to make it easy for Timmy Monahan to find that seam and pass it to him.
Frommert with a pair of goals early, coming off the 4 goals against Delaware in the semis. That matched a career high. So after an early edge for Towson at the faceoff X, won 4 of the first 6, Drexel has taken the lead at the X position with Jimmy Koida and another faceoff win for the Dragons.
And Travis, Koida's doing such a great job winning the initial clamp. I'd love to see him. You can see he doesn't have a ton of confidence with the ball in his stick, but I'd love to see him.
3 seconds left and a late shot. Drexel didn't realize how much time was left. A save by Canto, and it brings us to the end of our first quarter. Back and forth we go through 15 minutes to the CAA championship game. The Dragons, a pretty give and go, but the Tigers with the last roar, they lead by 1 as we enter the second on LSN. Welcome back to Amherst, Massachusetts. Travis Eldridge and Mitch Belisle back with you in the CAA championship game. The Tigers, the 2 seed in this tournament with a 5-4 lead over the 4 seed Drexel Dragons. The right to go to the NCAA tournament on the line here, that automatic bid out of the CAA. And we have the commissioner of the Colonial Athletic Association, Joe D'Antonio, joining us now on the sideline. Joe, this is such a great atmosphere. We've got had a great tournament so far. What do you make of the 2 teams we're seeing here today?
Well, it's exactly what we expected. As you folks just alluded to, 2 great semifinal games. Culminates today with our championship. These 2 teams are tightly matched, as you can see here in the first quarter. That's what we expect more than likely for the entire game.
And you've got a couple sports going on over the course of the weekend. What makes lacrosse special in the CAA?
Well, we've talked about this before when I've been fortunate enough to be on with you folks. It's a couple of different things. First of all, it's an incredibly talented conference as it relates to our student athletes. And then you couple that with the great coaches that we have. And then certainly I have no problem saying what's really elevated the prestige of the conference is our relationship with LSN. And it's been a great thing, I think, for both entities, both for LSN and for our conference, because it allows a lot more people to see and understand our story and understand the quality of lacrosse that we have in the league based on what you've done for us in this partnership.
Yeah, we've loved every second of it, and this year's the perfect example, Joe. We were part of that Loyola Towson game earlier in the season where the Tigers knocked off the #1 team in the country. They got the win over Hopkins. UMass had some good wins. Drexel gave people some trouble. This season as a whole seems like it's been a really special one in this men's conference.
It really has been, and you folks just alluded to some of those key non-conference matchup, and not only matchups but wins for us. And, that's what we're expecting year in and year out, and it's really just elevating the prestige of the conference and the product that we're putting on the field.
And I got to imagine having 3 nominees for the Towson Award, that's also a big asset, a big feather in the cap of the CAA.
No doubt about it. One thing we talk about all the time is, not only do we have great students, the student part of student athletes, but what separates our conference and makes it really special is we're on that last line of purity. The NCAA measures academic success by the APR. The CAA is notoriously ranked 4th or 5th out of 32 conferences in that measurement. And then couple it with what you just said in terms of our student athletes having that athletic success, and it's a special combination.
Now, speaking of pure, Grant Maloof, pure from the wing. That thing was a rifle here, Mitch.
Yeah, and that was just simple ball movement, doing a nice job. That's what we call a drift. He drifts down, creating that space there, and then gets himself into a good spot. Timmy Monahan draws a little bit of a double, not a ton, but enough to get Maloof's hands open, and Maloof has been so good on the run. Nice to see him shoot with his feet set.
Joe, before we let you go, you got to talk about all the events you guys have going on this weekend. The men's championship here in Amherst, the women's championship going on down at James Madison. That was a late night with some weather delays there yesterday for the semifinals. You also have the track and field championships this weekend. What has your staff meant throughout such a busy time of year?
Well, we're very fortunate. We have an unbelievable staff at the CAA. I think a lot of people don't understand. We don't have a lot of people. The entire staff consists of really about 14 to 16 full-time employees. Not everybody works out of the office in Richmond, but it takes an awful lot to make a Division I conference run, and we're really fortunate to have the people that we have. We have a ton of people that are multitasking and doing a lot of different things at one time, and you're correct. We have our track and field championships going on right now. Obviously, this championship game here today. I'll be down at JMU tomorrow for our women's lacrosse championship game, also live on LSN. And it's just an exciting time of year. Softball's getting ready to wrap up. That tournament starting any day next week. In fact, it'll start Thursday of next week. And then baseball's right around the corner. Rowing actually right before baseball, and then baseball will finish it off. So it's an exciting time of year.
Ball stolen away. Brody McLean makes Drexel pay for the mistake. It's a 3-goal lead for the Tigers.
And that looked like that might have just gotten stuck in Blumenthal's stick. It was a very awkward release as he went to throw that up the middle. And that's easy pickings. I thought that might have been McLean might have shot that from midfield, but did a nice job of taking his time, continuing in, waiting until he had enough space to make sure to bury that one home. And Blumenthal almost got back in time. He's frustrated. You can see he's frustrated. He threw the ball away, but it looked like that might have just gotten stuck in his stick as he tried to pass that.
Well, Joe, we'll let you go enjoy the excitement of this one. We appreciate this relationship so much here on LSN. It has meant so much to us. Thanks for having us once again, and looking forward to continuing to working with you guys.
Yeah, that feeling's mutual. We appreciate all you folks are doing for the CAA. We thoroughly enjoy the relationship. Good luck with the rest of the game today. Have fun with it, guys. It's going to be a good one.
Absolutely. Thanks, Joe. The commissioner of the Colonial Athletic Association, Joe D'Antonio, one of the most active guys in the entire sporting landscape in college. He practices with teams. He does all sorts of stuff. As he mentioned, he's going down to JMU for the Women's Championship coming your way tomorrow. A game, as he alluded to, that you can see right here on Lac Sports Network. The 3-seed Hofstra Pride going late into the night to knock off the Tigers of Towson in that second semifinal yesterday. They'll meet the top seed James Madison Dukes. It's tomorrow, noon Eastern time, right here on Lac Sports Network. Our pregame coverage starts at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on LSN.
Coach Volker need a little reset there. Want to make sure hey guys, calm down. Let's have the poise and the energy that we brought out on Thursday night. That's what they're looking to get back to. They haven't gotten a ton of possessions. A couple just key mental errors are the results of, or the reason for the Towson slight lead right now. So don't panic. Don't hit the panic. Just keep doing what we're doing. Let's get the ball to our offense, work it around, and we're scoring goals when we have these possessions. That's the key. They just need to get them back in their stick.
Here comes Fox running out of the midfield. Gets a shot on, but Canto saw it the whole way.
Yeah, and with that's not the look. They want to continue moving the ball around. If you just come down, first guy who touches it takes a shot. You don't really make the defense work too hard.
Zach Goodrich stopped by Blumenthal.
I mentioned this on Thursday night. Blumenthal played phenomenal. The only thing I was a little worried about was his confidence clearing. And
great pass ahead to Varian, but he's stripped away by Garrett Singalia. And Chad Patterson comes up with it. Back and forth we go. Luke Frommert will settle things down for Towson. 4-0 run for the Tigers. They trailed 4-3 in that first quarter, but they've strung together a nice run and now have another offensive set. Here's Sunday wrapping around, and it came out of the stick really funky.
Look, it just slipped out before he was able to whip that around. Ran into Jim Sunday, Brendan Sunday's dad, after the game on Thursday night. Turns out I coached Brendan back when he was in 6th or 7th grade.
So you're the key. This is what you turn. You coached a guy who may be an All-American.
I was more thinking I'm just that old now.
The key to Brendan Sunday's success.
One clinic with Mitch Belisle, you can be a CAA Player of the Year.
Here comes Wasserman off the pipe. A race for the backup. They'll give it to Drexel. No, sorry. The ref is pointing that way. He was just, I think, pointing to who was chasing it down.
Great effort there by George Grippo.
Yeah.
The dive, I like that, but ultimately it was just too close.
A starting attack unit for Towson has been potent early. 5 combined goals for McLean, Sunday, and Frommert. This one stripped away. Ends up in the stick of Tim Montgomery, and the Tigers keep it alive. Sunday winds and fires well wide.
Towson's got to be careful there. They didn't have backup. Again, that kind of low angle shot, based on the offense that both of these teams are running, they have a midi out on the wing, and they have an attack or an attackman and an attackman at X. That's kind of a no man's land, so they got to be careful there if they take that shot to either have the X-man rotate over or have that wing drift down so he can be there for a backup.
Maloof wrapping far side, feed to McLean, and it hits somebody in front. Blumenthal able to grab the pop-up.
I think that drilled Will Stabbert right between the numbers. He twisted his head around like, what was that?
Grippo pushes it ahead, and here comes Matt Klinges. He wants one, and he gets one! A long ball goal for the Dragons.
Klinges with about a 14-step crow hop there. Using that range and that size, pulls that thing back. Canto is on it, but just ultimately overpowered by Klinges there.
The first point of the season for Matt Klinges. He picked a great time.
That Towson midfielder, he jumped up on the ball. You're always taught in riding that we want to drop back and always cover the deepest person. I think that was Grant Maloof, actually, who was back on D, so not traditionally a defensive player. He jumped up and tried to attack the ball up high. You always want to drop back and cover the low man first there. Klinges with just enough room to get that off.
Loose ball, and McNallen's got a beat on it. If you weren't with us at the beginning of the game, Alex Woodall, the All-American face-off man for the Tigers, once again out today. He suffered an upper body injury against Delaware a couple of weeks ago. Did not play in the regular season meeting against Drexel last week. Did not play in the semifinals against Delaware. Instead, it's been the backup man, Jack McNallen, taking draws. Woodall is on the sideline. And we were told he was available for the semifinals and today, but we have not seen him in game action. Sunday checked as he got rid of it, but it comes out to Monahan. Now to Greg I.
And a nice
hand just a little high.
And a nice job by McNallen so far. And really, I think the bigger element here is the wing play. Really great wing play by the Towson Tigers has made all the difference because Coit has won some faceoffs, but they've done a nice job of forcing it out of his stick.
Sunday to Monahan. He has been active early so far, Timmy Monahan, with a goal and an assist. Quick restart from Frommert. Down to 20 seconds on the shot clock for Towson. Maloof, little shimmy shake. Stopped by Blumenthal.
And that's Maloof's bread and butter, that sweeping on the run shot. Great save by Blumenthal. You can see his confidence back up after that turnover. He's feeling a little bit better, made a couple big saves here. And I'm feeling the energy coming from the Drexel's defensive end as they're beating out shots to the end line and making some plays. That's what Coach Volker is asking from them. Hey, we got to make the little plays in our D end. Our offense will come once we get the ball to them.
Yeah, overall, Drexel does have a 2 face-off advantage, but not all of those face-offs have ended up in possessions, and that continues to be the key for Drexel. We've had early turnovers in possessions, not able to get it to the star trio of attackers in King, Varian, and Bowering.
Yeah, we haven't talked about King really at all this game, and 2 things. One, he's so good in man-up, and there haven't been any penalties in this game. And then the other piece of it is they just haven't been able to secure possessions and keep them, or if they have, the midfielders have typically been the ones engaging.
Mailman marked by Zach Goodrich, the All-American short stick. Feeds out to Genord. He's got a goal today, but he's heckled.
Mosilla's a man possessed right now.
And he gives
a little too aggressive.
A little too aggressive. There's a flag down. And the ball is stripped away, and we will have our first extra man opportunity of this CAA championship game.
Drexel so strong. Got a little hold there. See Moselle, he's gotten that level
all over the place, and
he's gotten that level of heightened confidence after he's done a nice job of taking the ball away, and he's so fast he can get into those gloves and chase a guy around. But there, great job. That's what you teach players who are getting checked. Don't run away, run towards him. And nice work there to draw the penalty.
It's a man-up unit that has been really good. 48% on the season. Top 5 in the country in extra man. McClellan makes Towson pay.
Skip, shoot, score. Simple game in man up. Find the lane, find the open man, create that pack in from pull the defense into the middle where the most dangerous shots come from, skip it up top, and then make them pay once you get it up there. Great shot by McClellan there. At a crucial time, bringing it within 1. This is almost a mirror image of the first time these teams played, with Towson slight advantage, ton more shots, not really able to hit the cage, and then Drexel going down being a little bit more efficient with their possessions to keep it nice and tight. It was a similar but opposite situation when these two teams first met, with Drexel having shot after shot but not being able to hit the cage.
And a face-off win from Jimmy Coita. He gets it back, and this is key for Drexel. Let's see if we can get a settled 6-on-6 set and not turn the ball over quickly, trying to do too much right off the face-off.
Right, and this is where Coita had an advantage there. Keep running. At least get 2-3 more steps. He's a fast kid. He's typically been 2 or 3 steps ahead. Just get a little bit more time instead of throwing that overhead dump that's a lot riskier. Towson's starting to key in on that, and they're making some plays between the midlines. So Coita's doing a nice job. Just have the confidence to take 2 or 3 more steps, roll away, and find the open man.
And notice that the dynamic midfielder for Drexel, Colin Mailman, draws the long pole now. Genord sweeping across. Drexel's tied it up.
Genord, that hip height, pulling it back across his body. That's so hard for a goalie to defend because they're moving. As Genord sweeps across the middle, the goalie has to go with him. You can see he's taking steps, moving his body, and then they pull it back the other direction. It's really difficult to slide to your right and then move your stick to your left. So nice job there by Genord. Defensively, that's why you want to take away that sweep to the middle. Force him down the alleys where your goalie doesn't have to move in 2 directions at once. And we're knotted up.
Yeah, a couple of goals for Genord here this afternoon. He had one against Towson in the regular season matchup as well. Sophomore from Michigan. As we're starting to get some rain here in Amherst, we had a bunch of rain early. And we've got a flag down. There's a violation on Towson.
I think they're going to call him for a third violation. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought that was only the second violation.
Yeah, let's... it's a delay a game penalty against Greg I.
You know what? He might have rolled the ball away after the play was blown dead, and that the refs are quick to call that.
And so knotted up at 7 apiece. This deadly man-up unit for Drexel gets another 30-second extra man.
And that's one of those things where I've never understood. It's such an easy call for refs to make. Just put the ball down. You're not getting an advantage. I know you're frustrated, but just put the ball down. It's such an easy call to eliminate from the game.
Drexel 1 for 1 today on the man-up, 48% on the season.
Oh, ball's getting slippery. A little rain falling down here.
And wasn't expected to have too much rain throughout the game time, but we've got some showers hanging around in the area here in western Massachusetts. Down to 3 seconds on the man up. Drexel without a shot. And we're back to even strength. Skip pass across to Bowering. And stripped away by Kobe Smith. And a flag down. That's a double whammy for Towson.
Nice play there by Kobe Smith.
Bowering strips it away to touch things up and avoid the free possession for the Tigers, but we've got a penalty coming.
Bowering, nice job by Kobe Smith, getting over the top, and I think Reed Bowering just a little bit frustrated, wants to get that ball back for his teammates, and just a little out of control, comes up and hits the head there. Is that good, Rich?
Wait, I just saw another flag come down. We got 2 flags down. Let's see what our referee Mike McCloskey has for us. We've got a pair of penalties on Reed Bowering.
And that withholding, I think, happened at the very end of the play. He dove trying to make a play and get the play dead. That one, I'm scratching my head a little bit. The first one, no question.
Clear, yeah.
He wrapped his stick around, and you can see him here. Comes up, catches Goodrich in the helmet. They're going to get that call every time. And then the second piece of it was towards the end. I thought he made a nice play. They're trying to kill the dead ball, but we don't get to look at it this time around. Take my word. I don't know if it was the best call there.
So just 1 man up for Towson, but for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Man up unit at 46% on the season. Step down shots. It's Grant Maloof. His second goal of the game. The Tigers back out on top.
Just a little rotation from one set into another. Catch your defense packed in a little too tight, and Maloof, I talked about it being such a good sweeping dodger and shooting off that run. That's twice today that he set his feet, stepped down, and shot it. So just a good indicator. Don't be one-dimensional, right? You got to be able to, if you want to play at a high level, you got to be able to do a little bit of everything. And Grant Maloof obviously can do it on the run. He can do it with his feet set. That's why it's key to practice all the different types of shots.
Rain continues to come down here in Amherst as McNallen wins a face-off forward, but he won it too far forward. It's scooped up by Sean Quinn.
Heads-up play there by Quinn. He was ready for that and really smart. I thought that was going to be another fast break for Towson, but great job by Quinn there being ready.
And so despite McNallen winning the initial clamp and draw, Drexel gets the face-off win and a possession. Teams just traded man-up goals to put Towson back up 1.
Travis, this was a 9-9 game late into the fourth quarter the first time these two plays. They're getting close to that mark. My guess was the first team to 10 was going to win this game. That was my pregame thought here, but Now it might be the first to 20.
Varian able to save it in the corner, but it's scooped up by Kobe Smith. Pass was just a little off for Varian, and it's a turnover for Drexel. Bowden in a little bit of trouble. Still got 8 seconds to get over the midfield stripe, and Towson without any issues.
And that's the key in clearing. You just got to be patient. There's always going to be someone open if you work hard enough to find it.
Seen some different wrinkles this year with the new clearing rules, 20 seconds to get it over midfield as opposed to the old rules in terms of getting it all the way into the box.
Thursday we saw a midfield goal with a 10-man ride, so throwing the 10-man out there, you can see there's a high risk, high reward factor.
Sunday gets the short stick matchup. He likes it and he beats it. Brendan Sunday's second goal of the afternoon. That's the dream for Brendan Sunday.
And not bad defense, he's on him, but Brendan Sunday can just make you pay when he has that angle. Such an effective dodger and shooter. He uses that big frame, 6'5". Nice work, just puts it, looks like that stick side hip for Blumenthal. He's got beat there a couple times, so I'm not sure if that's the scout on him or if they've just been able to overpower him with shots there, but that certainly has gone today.
Sunday now up to 68 points on the season. He's the first 60-point guy for a Towson team since 2013. And McNallen this time wins the face-off to himself and gets the ground ball.
He's been great today. I've been really impressed with him. It's one of those situations where they got a guy like Woodall, so you look at a kid like McNallen, probably not going to get a ton of time. Woodall gets hurt, gets a chance to step up, and he has made the most of those opportunities. So really, really pumped for him that he's playing so well, and it's awesome to see. Especially like we talked about with Woodall graduating, it's good for Towson knowing they have that next year.
Sunday back out top to Maloof, just high. McNallen setting a CAA championships record with 27 face-off wins in the semifinal victory over Delaware. He was stellar against a Blue Hens team that has struggled at the face-off X for most of the year. Monahan skips over, saved by Blumenthal.
Yeah, that Delaware situation, kind of the other side of the coin there. They had a true starter who got injured, broke his wrist, and after that, the depth chart just wasn't there at that position. And with one person being a face-off man, that makes it tough if you can't have success there. Especially they went down, trying to claw back in. That's where it really hurts you, is when you can't claw back in because you can't win face-offs. Saw that with my alma mater last night at Cornell. Got down and couldn't come back.
Frommer gets free. The dive is good. Luke Frommer's got a hat trick in the first half.
Move it through X, beat your man one-on-one. That is a recipe for success for the Towson Tigers. The 1v1 matchups, they are just winning. Now, the key to that for Drexel, can they send slides in time? Can they support there? Just a little bit over-aggressive there on defense by Will Stabber. Just needs to break down a little bit. Make sure you're forcing Frommer. So maybe try and extend a little bit to get the ball back, but now is the time to sit down and play good defense late in the second quarter, sorry.
And a violation on Koida, and Drexel gives it right back to Towson.
You can see Koida's frustrated right now. He's lost a few, and with that violation, he needs to get a few under his belt to get that confidence back up again.
I was talking to head coach Sean Nadalin earlier this season about how important the face-off position is, and especially with the domination they had with Alex Woodall, especially early on in those victories over Hopkins, Loyola. And he kind of likened it to a football team being able to run the ball really well. You can control everything about the game. Speaking of control, the Tigers are in control. They're up 4. Jake McLean buckets one.
Just a nice little move there, dodging down the alley and bearing it. And the shooting by Towson has been lights out. It's Ross Blumenthal. It's not anything he's doing. They're just doing a nice job of drawing a man, movement, and Drexel, they've got to get back in control defensively. The last 3 goals, it's not a result of bad defense. They're just rushing out of control. So they've got the athletes, they've got the support, but if you come out of control, it's easy to beat you.
Jake McLean, not related to Brody McLean. If you haven't watched Towson this year, the two of them, very different areas. Jake is from California, where Brody is from Canada, up there in Ontario. But a much-needed face-off win for Jimmy Coita and Drexel. You get the feeling that late in this first half, they need a goal on this possession to kind of push Towson off a little bit. This Tigers team, we saw it back on Thursday night when they get clicking offensively. All the energy up and down the field really gets fueled from that. This is Reed Bowering. Pushed out, gets it back out to Mailman. Little juke from Collins, shot high. It was deflected, and Varian able to keep it in.
Towson really pushing out on the attack, making it difficult to get it to the attack. Smart defensive scheme there by Coach Nadalin, knowing how much the offense runs through the attack. They're really saying, okay, you want to beat us with your midfield.
Under 3 minutes to go in this CAA championship game of the first half. Drexel looking to claw their way back in this thing. Mulcahy rolling near side, rolls forward, draws a flag. Either hit Canto or the post. The shot stayed out, but a flag coming, and it looks to be on Towson. Mo Silla looks to be going to the box for the second time already this afternoon, the freshman.
And prior to the crease dive, these are always tough calls to make.
Just a 30-second push.
Nice job by Mo Silla, sitting down, get a little drive there. That's tough. I don't know. Maybe earlier I could have seen a push, but there I thought he did a nice job of using his body and continuing his momentum there. So
quickly for the man up. Pass is deflected in front. Comes out to King. Saved by Canto. And the backup for Towson. That's a big stop from the big man in cage.
Yeah, they were looking for that inside feed. Nice job knocking down that pass. And then it continued to squirt through. Marshall King, that hit it right off Canto's thigh knee.
He's got a hard knee because that bounced hard out.
Those are the ones that leave bruises.
He'll take it if he gets a trophy at the end of the day. 4-goal lead for the Tigers, the 2 seed in this tournament. And after this game was all tied up at 7 in this second quarter, a 4-goal run for Towson late. They have a chance to add to it before the half. This is Timmy Monahan navigating, feed in front to McLean. With a quick stick finish, Brody McLean has a hat trick.
That was another one where it was just waiting. Is that going in? Is that going in? Nice little quick stick, nice touch pass. Continues to just work on the crease. Drexel there sliding, recovering, but just they look a step slower than they did against UMass. Oh, Blumenthal had it, and it just trickled off his foot and rolled across the line there. Nice job by McLean to continue working on that crease, finding those little gaps and those little seams until he's able to bury it.
Timmy Monahan came into the game with just 14 assists on the season. He's already got 4 points for Timmy Monahan. And another face-off violation on Jimmy Coita.
And that'll be his 3rd, so he's going to be in the box for this one. Not what they needed after this little onslaught by Towson. 5 straight, since that man up.
We've seen it all year from this Tigers team. We saw it in the 9-goal run they had against Delaware on Thursday. Most specifically, we saw it against Hopkins at the very beginning of the season. When they're winning faceoffs, getting the ball to their offense, they have this feel. And the team we saw Thursday, the team we've seen throughout this game so far, is the team we saw that just destroyed Hopkins at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and being able to be consistently that team, that's what makes a playoff run. And so this is clearly the most important time to start hitting that stride.
So Towson's certainly in control of this game so far. The question becomes, if Drexel can find a way to get back into this thing, is Towson in no matter what happens today with the automatic qualifier that the champion of the CAA tournament gets. You look at some of their notable wins. We mentioned Hopkins. They beat Loyola when the Greyhounds were the #1 team in the country. They got a win over Georgetown that continues to look good as the Hoyas will play for the Big East Championship later on today. They've got an RPI, according to Inside Lacrosse, an RPI that updated as of last night of 6. So not only are they possibly, if they win today, looking at getting in the tournament, they may get a home game at Johnny Unitas Stadium.
Right, and so much of that also is going to depend on what else happens in these conference tournaments today. Who's stealing bids by winning games that they didn't expect to win, and not a ton of variability with the remaining games, but this game really could have dictated some spots. If Drexel is able to claw back and win this, then you have that Towson maybe bubble team in or out. You look at Cornell as a bubble team, Maryland now as a bubble team.
Yeah.
So those AQs gobble up so many slots. There's not a lot of room to slot other teams in, especially when you get teams like Virginia and some of these other teams that are just guaranteed spots.
We now know that in the Patriot League, we'll get a team in that wasn't supposed to be in after Loyola lost last night in the semifinals to Army. Drexel would certainly be another bid stealer if they can come back and win this, but they're man down here. Shot just high from McLean. Still 11 seconds on the extra man for Towson. Monahan, he's got a good feel for it so far, but that pass is kind of slipped out of his stick. Saved by Frommert. And Montgomery scoops it up. And we will get a timeout for the Tigers to help preserve that possession.
Coach Nadelin didn't like what he saw there. Ball was squirting all over the place. No one seemed to be able to get on the same page, so he's going to say, let's regroup here with 30 seconds left in the half.
Coming up here on Lac Sports Network on May 24th, we'll bring you exclusive coverage of the USILA North-South All-Star Games. The night will feature the top seniors from Divisions 1, 2, and 3 in a pair of games designed to show off their skills and celebrate their college careers. The USILA North-South All-Star Games only on Lac Sports Network. This game's coming from U.S. Lacrosse headquarters this year down in Sparks, Maryland. Gorgeous facility. Such a great legacy the North-South All-Star Games have as well. Guys like Jim Brown played in the North-South All-Star Game back in the day. Pretty cool.
Yeah, when I think of it, that's exactly what I think of as the history and rich tradition, and some guys that played it, like you said, went on to not just win in the lacrosse world, but even in the business world and the professional world. So it's a really cool kind of who's who of lacrosse that's been going on for years and years and years.
This Drexel team looking to continue playing past today. This is their first championship game appearance in the CAA since 2014. They've now made 7 of the last 8 CAA tournaments. The lone one they missed was last season, and that was really one of the rallying cries for this Dragons team throughout this year and coming into this year was, hey, we aren't going to have that happen again. We did not want to miss the CAA tournament. Well, they didn't miss it. They found their way into the tournament, a win over the top seed on Thursday, and back in this championship game for the first time since 2014.
And Coach Volker called it the redemption tour. That's what they said this tournament is. They get a chance to avenge their losses, and right now they get some work to do. It's an uphill battle right now.
Timmy Monahan to start with it as we're back to even strength. Under 30 seconds to go in the first half of this CAA championship game. Monahan draws the short stick. Gets him to fall down. Stopped by Blumenthal. And scooped up by Hurley with 10.
Drexel has about 10 seconds here. That's some time.
To Bowering, and he couldn't quite bat it in. It looked like he was trying to kind of hockey shot it past Canto.
You know, I think he was trying to knock his defenseman's stick down to give him a second to catch it, but not enough.
And Canto's pass is intercepted to bring us to the end of the first half. The Tigers using a 5-goal run down the stretch of that second quarter to take a 5-goal lead into the half of this CAA championship game. As Drexel heads into the locker room knowing they've got 30 minutes to try to find a way to make up a 5-goal deficit. This is a Drexel team, though, that has come back from deficits like this in this season. Did it against Michigan in the fourth quarter, coming back from 6 or 7 down against the Wolverines on the road. So certainly not an unfamiliar territory for Drexel as they head into the locker room. But we're now joined by the Towson head coach, Sean Nadalin. Coach, you guys closed that half really strong offensively. What did you notice about your team's ability to find a rhythm there?
We just got to be more poised with the ball. I thought we did a good job sharing it. We were taking advantage of kind of what they were trying to do with the shutoffs and being a little bit more extended than normal in their defense, and some things opened up for us. And our guys took some good shots and then fortunately scored.
And speaking of shutting off, you're clearly putting some pressure on their attack, making it very difficult. What do you expect them to do in the second half to try to counter that?
They're talented. They're going to come out and keep going aggressive. Their middies are dangerous, I'm sure. They'll dodge hard with their midfields, try to get us to rotate off their attack. Maybe use a little bit of pick action. Try to free up number 3 and stuff. They're a good team. They've been in this situation before. They're going to come out ready to go.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Good luck in the second half.
Great, thank you.
Towson coach Sean Nadalin joining us, and his team has a 5-goal edge here at the break. The Tigers, 30 minutes from a CAA championship. We'll have the second half coming up. The Drexel fans hoping to cook up a comeback in the second half. The 4-seeded Dragons with a 5-goal deficit against the 2-seeded Tigers as we get you ready for the second half of this CAA championship game. We're joined by Drexel head coach Brian Volker on the sideline. Coach, what was the biggest difference in that run Towson was able to go on at the end of that first half?
I think they took advantage of a lot of our mistakes. I thought we turned the ball over a lot, and we made some pretty basic errors on the defensive end, and they took advantage of all of them.
And they've obviously been pushing out on your attack, making it difficult for them to get the ball. Anything we should look for this half to try to get them more involved?
Yeah, we can't throw it away on a face-off, and we can't throw it away on a clear. And then, I think 7 goals in a half is pretty good. Just, the other end, 12 is just not acceptable. So we got to play better defensively. We got to play better between the lines. We got to clear the ball better. Just got to be a better half for us.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Good luck.
You got it. Thanks.
Coach Brian Volker looking to get his team back in this one. Taking a look at some of the first half highlights. It was a good start for this Drexel team as Ryan Janord got things kicked off. He had 2 goals in this first half, and they were trading punches with Towson early.
Yeah, it was back and forth the whole time. Drexel actually scored a man-up goal and got a little momentum, and then it was a penalty, and then Towson from then on towards the back half of the end of the second quarter. So Towson did a really nice job of winning their matchups. They ended up with 7 of their 12 goals were unassisted. So Brendan Sunday, Grant Maloof, a couple guys that just are able to make their own shot. When they have those shots, they make them pay. Really effective and efficient with their shooting. Just stepping into shots, finding little tiny seams, and then letting the ball fly. Able to beat Ross Blumenthal to the corners.
Yeah, this starting attack unit, Brody McLean, Brendan Sunday, Luke Frommert combining for 8 goals in that first half. Timmy Monahan also had a nice first half with a goal and 3 assists. That leading to this 5-goal lead at the break. Towson looking for their 4th CAA championship in the last 5 years. The one they didn't get was last season when the top-seeded Minutemen beat them in this championship game right here at Garber Field.
And these two teams specifically have met in 5 of the last 6 CAA playoffs. Maybe not the championship, but playoffs. So.
And a face-off win for Jimmy Coita to start the second half. That will be important for Towson. You just heard Coach Volker mention, not only do we need to win face-offs, we need to control the ball. We can't turn the ball off of those face-off wins.
And that was the same thing I said, and that's exactly what Jimmy Coita just did. Instead of immediately trying to get rid of the ball, he took those extra steps, realized he had the time, and found the open man. And that's just that poise that they really exhibited against UMass on Thursday. They've got to have that poise all around the field.
Keep your eye on Marshall King, number 3 in navy blue for Drexel. Was held without a point in that first half. He has been an important part of this Drexel attack unit.
And they're really putting pressure on him, making it difficult for him to get the ball.
Janord wrapping around, got the helmet of Canto and kicked over the bar. And it gets a fresh 80 seconds for the Dragons.
And a little mini timeout as Canto goes to buckle his helmet back up.
Towson once again wearing the throwback-looking helmets and the throwback porthole Under Armour gold jerseys.
My wife asked me why their shorts were so short.
You got to go back to the early 90s. Sent behind to Varian, forces it in front. Nice save by Canto, but the rebound goes for Drexel. Ryan Genord has his third of the day.
Johnny on the spot there is able to scoop up that rebound, just pouring the pressure on. And this is what Drexel needs. They need that momentum, that feel of like, okay, we're going to keep shooting, make the looks we need. Nice little look inside, great handle on the inside, and then what a finish there by Genord being there and picking up the rebound to put it away by the initial Mulcahy shot.
Genord had a season-high 4 goals against Fairfield earlier this season. He's already got 3 as we're early on in this second half of the CAA championship. And another face-off win here for the Dragons.
And this is exactly what I was talking about. Jimmy Coita just taking his time. He doesn't have to beat his man. All he's got to do is beat his man for enough time to get rid of the ball, and then it's a tough play there.
Trying to force it, kept alive to avoid the over and back, but scooped up by Jake McLean. And Towson using one of those tactics we saw people use against Trevor Baptiste last year in Denver is lock off everybody else, make the face-off man do something or force a tight pass, and not able to corral it.
And the attack, they have to get open for him, which that's either hard work, V-cutting extremely hard, or go set a pick for each other, right? Get open, make it easy for Jimmy Coita to not worry that he has to panic or make plays that he shouldn't be making. His job is to win the faceoff. He's doing that. Now make it easy for him to do the rest.
Grant Malouf scoops it back out on top, and Timmy Monahan scoring from distance.
Yeah, what a killer for Drexel. They win the faceoff, they take their time, they do the right things, and then go back to the old ways of panicking and throwing it away. Towson so efficient on capitalizing on those mistakes, and it's exactly what Coach Volker said. They're being efficient, they're capitalizing. Stepping down. The other thing I really like, Towson started those low skippers. With the rain, that is so much harder to read off the turf. You never know if it's going to bounce up, if it's just going to slide in. So doing a nice job of testing out those bounce shots has been able to beat Blumenthal low.
Monahan having one heck of a CAA tournament. Tied a career high with 4 goals on Thursday in the semifinals. Has 2 goals to go along with 3 assists so far in the championship game today. Another face-off win by Coita, but he's stripped by McNallen. And it's scooped up by McNallen.
And the short sticks for Towson, they've been the difference maker right now. Between Goodrich, McNallen, Wilkerson, they've been doing such a nice job.
Garrett Sangalia stripped of it. Comes free to Sunday off the crossbar. That thing deflected up into the dorms here at UMass.
And much like Thursday where Drexel, it just felt like every loose ball, Drexel was all over it. Tonight it's Towson is all over every loose ball. It doesn't matter where it hits the ground. It just happens to find its way into a yellow jersey stick, no matter what the scramble situation at this point.
Remember, once again, Alex Woodall has not seen any time today. The All-American face-off man for the Tigers. Out with an upper body injury, missing his now 3rd straight game. Monahan gets free, scoops it over to Malouf, and that's a trio of goals for Grant Malouf.
I said it once, I said it twice, and I'll say it a 3rd time. Malouf, so good at that sweep. Also so good with his feet set. Just a dangerous shooter, and that's a true mark of a great shooter is when you can do it from all different spots in the field. Really does a great job of stepping in, looking at the goal. You could see in his step he was looking to see where Ross Blumenthal was, and then pulled that short side. We're off stick for Blumenthal. Really difficult for a goalie to get that short side if he's a right-handed goalie.
That's a new career high in points for Timmy Monahan with 6. Another face-off win for Drexel. Let's see if they can keep it. A turnover around midfield comes back to Brody McLean.
Travis, that's what I'm saying right there. Is like, you know, a little mistake and it ends up in Towson's stick, and that's where Drexel just got to be a little bit more alert on the defensive end and have a chance at that.
Brody McLean all the way around, shot well wide, but a backup there from Luke Frommer.
See a little bit of mist, a little bit of rain, sticks bag out a little bit. The other thing is your gloves get really wet, and Technology is so much better than it was when I was playing in college, but still, when those palms of your gloves get soaked, it gets a little slippery on the stick. That can be a challenge. You can see both teams throwing the ball away a little bit more.
A big push on Matt Severo that brings him over midfield. That draws all sorts of flags.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that should have been blown dead as it went across midfield.
And so we will get the penalty on Drexel. And that was, you get the feeling, maybe a frustration penalty on the Dragons.
Yeah, you get into that weird rhythm where you get so frustrated that you're not playing well, and knowing that you need the extra effort sometimes leads to more penalties, and then it just doubles down on the pain. But Cam Harris there, just frustrated, like you said, pushes him. You know you're getting a penalty there.
Tigers have scored 7 of the last 8 goals and now go on the man up for 30 seconds. Already have a man up goal today. Maloof, Brody McLean in there on the extra man unit for Towson. Monahan tosses over for Sunday. Skip down low. Pass couldn't be handled, and the loose ball scooped up by Sean Quinn.
Good job by the Drexel defense there.
Reed Bowering couldn't handle the pass. A whistle and a loose ball push will keep the possession with Drexel. And we are back to even strength.
And I want to see Marshall King get involved at this point. He's such a leader and such a big part of their offense. You can see him directing traffic in there. So either put him in the crease and make them slide off of him, or have him set picks so he can try to get a matchup against a short stick. He's not traditionally a dodger for them, but he can make things happen, especially if he's matched up against a short stick.
This is Matthew Varian working against Kobe Smith. It's been a tough matchup for Varian all day long.
Great D there by Kobe Smith. You can't coach it any better than that until you start slashing him. That's
flag down and some words exchanged.
Kobe Smith's clapping. I don't know if he realizes he's the one that got the penalty. Question is, did they call Varian as well for a little after extracurricular? Looks like he's getting away scot-free.
Spoken like a true defenseman, huh? Mitch. And so it's Kobe Smith who goes to the box. Now 1 minute slash on Smith. So Drexel desperately could use an extra man goal here.
Yeah, and great defense there by Kobe Smith. It was the 3rd or 4th baseball bat swing to the stick. Even if you're getting stick, if you're catching a lot of arms and swinging as hard as you can, they're typically going to call that one.
Here is Marshall King without a point today. Coming off a 5-point effort in the semifinal win. Dumps down and stopped by Canto. Canto kicks it away as Varian had a great look.
What a heartbreaker. Great look there by King. Finding Varian on that back corner, and Varian, he's saying, how did that happen? What a save there by Canto.
Canto now up to 9 saves on the day. We came in talking about Tyler Canto, the 6'6" junior from Billerica, Massachusetts, coming back to his home state to play in the CAA tournament. He had 17 saves against Drexel in the regular season meeting last week. Close to double digits once again.
Typically, 6'6" means big feet. Big feet means big kick saves.
I believe it's size 15 or so.
That covers a good quarter of the goal.
Yeah, they had to order some extra sizes from Under Armour when guys like Tyler Canto come onto your roster. Brendan Sunday looking to add to the lead, and he does. The Tigers have it rolling.
Brendan Sunday, so efficient and effective with that dodge. It looked like just got a little bit extended. Sean Quinn got a little extended with that poke check, wasn't able to drive. That's the one thing you turn around on the other end, you see Kobe Smith going against Matt Varian, and he sits down in the chair, doesn't throw that initial poke, and uses his legs to drive him out. So this is where the Drexel Dragons defense, they're big, they're athletic. They need to sit in the chair and drive him up and away from the goal, because right now they're getting where they need to be.
Koida with a face-off win all the way through. Bounce shot goes. Drexel with a quick answer.
Why doesn't Koida just do that every time?
I don't know. I'm sure that's what Coach Brian Volker's thinking on the sideline.
It's like Happy Gilmore. Is putting so challenging. Why don't I just make it on the first shot every time?
Go to your home, ball.
Good job protecting his stick, getting it nice and tight, jamming between the legs. Good finish there by Koida.
Just Koida's second goal of the season. He's a guy that they really need to go in kind of beast mode here, as he's able to win it back to himself, and a chance for a possession here for Drexel. We near the midway point of this third quarter of the CAA championship game. Travis Eldridge and Mitch Belisle with you here on LSN. The 4-seeded Dragons looking to pull off their second upset in the last 3 days and find their way into the NCAA tournament. Coming in just 7-7 on the year at 500. Meanwhile, Towson looking at possibly an at-large berth if they wouldn't win the CAA championship and get the AQ. But playing today maybe for a home game in the NCAAs. But Varian rolls, and he scored, but they'll wave it off. It's a crease violation, and I think Marshall King just got himself a penalty. Looked like he may have said something to the official after that call. And so on top of the no goal on the crease violation before the dive, we've got a flag down, and Towson is going to go and man up, and they've got a free possession here.
And when you're chipping away and trying to take down a lead, the worst thing you can do is take penalties in your offensive end, especially from the defensive perspective. You're working hard, you're trying to get stops, and to have to come down and then play man down because something happened that, was unnecessary, that's tough.
It's an unsportsmanlike conduct on Marshall King. You can sense he's probably frustrated with how this game has gone. Here's the first look on Varian, and I believe they got him on stepping in the crease before he took off.
And from that angle, I think that was the right call. We'll see if that right toe, it's hard to tell. That was about as close as it gets.
The ref was right there on the side. He had a good look at it. But it means a man up, and then you saw late there as Marshall said something to the official, but a turnover at the other end. No, it's deflected.
Don't think he respectfully disagreed.
So 45 seconds left on the extra man for Towson. Maloof winds and fires. Blumenthal up to the challenge.
Big save there by Blumenthal. Starting to dial in on Maloof a little bit.
Still 30 seconds, or 22 now for Drexel to kill, but they can do it in the offensive end.
Now this is where Drexel has to work to get the ball. Good job by Cam Harris there, chasing it down.
Avoids a trio of gold jerseys. Here comes Cam Harris. Harris, a terrific athlete on this Drexel short stick defensive midfield unit, and he kills the rest of the penalties, so we're back to even strength. Here comes Mailman. He's been kept quiet by Goodrich. Gets free off the pipe. And Drexel able to win the race to the sideline. That was a good look for Mailman, who hit the goalie, and that'll be a fresh 80 seconds.
Looked like that was Cantor to pipe to out, using that big frame to deflect that ball.
Genord backhand off the pipe as well.
Pope might have been involved. Cantos keeping his prayers up at night.
Let's take another look. This one it just straight hit Canto's helmet. That's an unconventional save. Varian dumps down to Mulcahy. Falling away, stopped by Canto.
Canto's in the zone right now. You can see he's tracking everything. The big difference, too, is Drexel, all their shots, they're going away from the net. And ultimately, that makes it easier for Canto. It's like that fadeaway. In basketball, it's effective because there's no goalie. But in lacrosse, it doesn't get as much zip on the ball, and the goalie has a little bit more time to read it. You don't get the power that you need.
Timmy Monahan settles things down. Under 5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Tigers in complete control, up by 6.
And the good news for Drexel, there's still plenty of time. Koida is doing great at the face-off X when he makes the right decision out of the win. They just need to get the stops and keep chipping away on offense.
Frommer spins out of trouble. Dishes. Shot wide from I. 25 seconds left on the shot clock for Towson. Here's Sunday. Low pass handled. Shot wide by Monahan.
And I think up till this point, Towson hasn't missed the goal with many of their shots. They've either scored or gotten rebounds. So this is the first time we've really seen them step down into kind of a shooting gallery.
The midfielder Monahan working for Max. Gets free! Side of the cage.
The old-fashioned mom goal.
Didn't fool too many people here in the stands. Almost fooled me.
Smart moms and dads in the CAA.
A turnover for Drexel in the clear, and that has been their Achilles heel throughout the afternoon.
Yeah, the poise and confidence that they played with against UMass, I think that is what's lacking today. And part of that is just, I think, that really stems from their attack, who has not been as involved because of just really great schemes by Towson, making it difficult for them to even touch the ball.
And the Tigers have been able to neutralize, as you've got a timeout for Towson. And frustrated Sean Nadelin is fired up with his team. As the Tigers take a timeout to talk things over, preserve the possession as they had a long pole deep in the offensive end. What a performance from Tyler Canto, up to 11 saves on the afternoon at 17 in the regular season meeting. And this is what we've seen just about all year from Tyler.
Yeah, and Bill Rick, a Mass native, playing just an hour or so outside his hometown, using that big frame, using those big old feet, using his stick, using everything he can to put himself between the ball and the goal, just making it look easy, honestly. He's really taking his time, stepping to the ball, gathering up his rebounds, and then moving it up to his offense, and they're doing some work on the other end.
Listed at 6'6", 245. You know he's a big body, but he actually, during the offseason, went and took a boxing clinic and really got involved in boxing to help his footwork. And I think we've seen an improvement in the agility, the speed, the footwork from Canto this year. Mainly probably one of the reasons he was able to win this job and do what he's doing so far.
Boxing's such a great workout, and it's fun, it's competitive, makes you tough, which is important at a goaltender position. So great cross-training activity. And the other thing is just having that outlet, having something to keep you in shape, keep you engaged, but get away from lacrosse a little bit. That was something that for me, I was a hockey player growing up. Having that other outlet is always nice, even as a college athlete. So I always praise multi-sport athletes, talk about how important that is. Why not be a multi-sport boxer and lacrosse player?
Apparently has some dance moves as well, the big guy. If you saw after one of their big wins earlier this season, he was breaking it down in the locker room afterward.
Float like a butterfly?
Yeah, stop like a, I don't know.
Wall.
Stop like a wall, brick wall. That's what he's been engaged this season. Pretty incredible. He came into the fall as the third-string goalie, and Shane Brennan was injured going into this season. Coach Nadelin didn't know what he was going to do at the goalie position entering that first game against Hopkins. Canto gets the start, and really, sans maybe a half or two of play, has been the guy for Towson throughout this year.
Just got to keep working to get better every day in practice. When your moment comes, step up and make the most of it. Nadelin proved it. Canto proved it. This is a team of guys that are just working together to fill their roles.
Still 30 seconds left on the shot clock as Sunday comes way out toward midfield. He's got a short stick matchup though. Late help, squeezes one, but it's saved. Resets the shot clock, doesn't get through, and Blumenthal collects.
Nice job standing tall by Blumenthal there. That Sunday shot looked like it was going dead center between the legs. He must have kicked it with one of his feet.
Harris quickly the other way. Scored the game winner against Michigan. As you get another look at this one, just enough of it. He's not wearing sweatpants, so it wasn't a sweatpants save. He's got those skin-tight tights going on. And goalie, don't you want to have sweatpants on? You need a little extra material down there.
I actually was getting some flack for the Cornell goalie's look last night from some non-Cornell friends. I said that was a direct reason for two of its saves.
Mulcahy was tripped up, but he keeps it alive. Here comes Bowering. This is where he's dangerous. Bounce shot is high. A race toward the sideline, and Kobe Smith showing off the speed.
That Smith-Varian matchup, that is right there the epitome of what's been going on. Just too much speed, too much athleticism, and dominating that matchup in every facet of it right now.
We saw Kobe Smith's speed and his ability to go end-to-end in the semifinal on Thursday night. He has some jets, and you saw it right there as the race out to the corner.
Just a heads-up play. That's a stat that they don't keep runouts that I think would be a great one. Spoken like, again, a true defenseman, but it is. It's so important to win a possession back by beating your man. It's a big momentum swing, and also gives you a kind of a free possession.
Ball works around to Grant Maloof at the top of the box. Maloof's got a short stick on him, saved by Blumenthal.
Blumenthal is trying to keep him in it. The best of his ability, doing a nice job making a couple big saves here. They can keep it within 6, narrow that to 5 or 4 before the quarter ends.
Blumenthal, the freshman, now up to 10 saves in the CAA championship game. And Towson can hold for one here as they got a fresh 80 seconds, and we're down under 40 seconds to go in the third. Tigers playing in their 5th straight CAA championship game, looking to win their 4th. Monahan with 20. Spins and draws some help. Tosses back out to Sunday, now around to Maloof. He's got a short stick. Frommert trying to get around that crease. He can at first, tries again. How did he squeeze it in? The refs are going to talk about this. Still no signal. It's good. A near impossible angle. Luke Frommert with his 4th.
And nice patience there by Frommert. Tests the water, pulls it out. Good defense. Nope, not there. Pulls it out, tests the water. Dives. And I think Ross Blumenthal is making the argument that he hit me before that ball went in. That was about as close as it gets. He might have an argument there. That's about as close as it gets. Still behind GLE, but uses the stick to reach around, pop that thing in. Almost 70% shooting percentage for shots on goal. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, overall, he's shooting up close to 50% on the season, coming in at 47% shooting percentage. That's really good. And Towson's offense has been really good so far. They've got 16 goals through 3 quarters. Frommert's got 4. Brody McLean's got 3. Maloof's got a hat trick, and Brendan Sunday, the senior, he's got a 4-pack. The Tigers 15 minutes from a CAA championship. Welcome back here to Amherst, Massachusetts, and Towson, the Tigers, a 7-goal lead as we start the 4th quarter, 15 minutes away from their 4th CAA championship in the last 5 years. Alex Woodall, despite not playing on Thursday or today because of being out with an injury, it has been still a great weekend for him. He became an uncle. His sister Brittany just gave birth to Grace Elizabeth Gayer earlier this week. And look at that. Grace already watching her uncle Alex on Lac Sports Network there from Thursday night congratulations to Brittany and Alex's new niece. A really cool moment for Alex, who continues to be sidelined with an upper body injury. But you would think that another week off, maybe he seemed to have been active for this weekend, but trying to buy a little bit more time to get him healthy. You have to think in the NCAA tournament he's going to find a way to get on the field. Yeah,
and I think this may have been precautionary. The other piece to it is McNallen has been doing such a great job that they feel like they can rely on him.
Coita wanted more. He's already got a goal, wins the faceoff, and despite shooting high, gets a possession for Drexel. And Jack McNallen has been solid today.
Thing with McNallen, too, he can handle the ball pretty well, right? We saw 2 goals. He's a face-off man, but he plays a little bit of defense. He can contribute on the offensive end. Coita, clearly that Fogo role, you can tell when he has the ball on his stick, he wants to get rid of that thing.
Fox slipped down. Mulcahy lost it. Ball still loose around the end line, and it goes out of bounds off the Tigers. Drexel keeps. Mulcahy, the quick restart. Canto came out of the crease to say no, 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 no. And Mulcahy was not going to test the 6'6", 245 guy in cage for Towson.
I like that play. Smart by Canto.
Stripped away.
Even if he doesn't hit him, he's making it at least very, very imposing.
Gray Bowden made a great play for the Tigers, and it's scooped up here by Kobe Smith. Loses it in transition. Sloppy play, but eventually Luke Frommert with it, and the Tigers have possession. This Tigers offense has been great, but the defense has made life so difficult for Drexel, especially in the second half.
Yeah, and their short sticks are playing lights out. Their close defensemen and long poles are doing a great job too, but really the difference has been Zach Goodrich just absolutely dominating his matchup against Mailman, and then all around the field, just in between the lines, getting up and down, creating havoc, knocking the ball down, and then when the ball goes down, just swarming it with yellow jerseys.
10 caused turnovers for the Tigers today.
Wilkerson was plagued by penalties the first time these two teams played. Had about 4 or 5 pushes, has really seemed to find the balance between driving and pushing in this game, and has been a force on that D-midi line.
That was an uncharacteristic turnover for Towson today. Haven't seen a lot of those.
You mentioned cleaning up those turnovers has been a big part of their turnaround as they've come down the pipe here.
And an offsides on Drexel. Let's see if Towson thought about it quickly the other way, but they didn't give him the quick restart. And Brody McLean will settle things down.
Those turnovers so crucial in playoff games, whether it be your conference or moving into the NCAAs. Unforced turnovers, if you can eliminate those are huge assets to your team, being able to keep the ball, and they can be so detrimental when you lose it.
Wasserman,
speaking of which.
a tough pass over to Jake McLean, but he grabs it. Taken away there by Klingus. Nice check to get the ball back. Still just 8 turnovers for Towson in the first 3+ quarters. That is a much better number than we saw at times from the Tigers this season. Here comes Cam Harris. Gets free. Stopped by Canto again. Not only did he stop, but he saved it cleanly.
Yeah, Canto has played so well, but like we just talked about, they've been so good all over the defensive end. It's not like one element is so head and shoulders above the other. They're all working really well in tandem, and that's when you have success, is when everyone does their role really well, and you can't point to one person and say, the reason they're winning is because of Canto saves. No, the reason they're winning is because of a complete team effort on the defensive end.
Doesn't hurt when you have an All-American at short stick, a guy who may be an All-American at Kobe Smith. It's your top cover guy. Maloof tries to find Frommert at X, but passes just a little off at a turnover for Towson. A little sloppiness to start the fourth quarter. Well, no-look pass from Klingus to Mailman, but it shows you the pressure that Towson has put on Drexel in the clearing game. Took a no-look pass to get a clear.
Yeah, it's just been pressure everywhere. Really consistent, not out of control, and I think that Drexel's been trying to put some pressure on, but it's been a little bit out of control, and that's where Towson's been able to capitalize, but Towson's really maintained their control as they've pressured.
Reed Bowering finds the back of the net. His second goal of the game, up over 100 goals for his career.
Nice little slip there by Bowering. Sets that pick, slips into the inside. He finds that gap and then uses defenseman, uses Kobe Smith as a screen, reaches around him and shows just that's that Canadian influence to the game, right? He doesn't run a million miles an hour. He sets a nice little pick, takes 2 or 3 steps to the inside, doesn't crash to the crease where he's going to get checked, takes his time, finds the back of the net.
Bowering's 46 goals, now just 2 shy of tying Ben McIntosh's single season record of 48 from back in 2014. It's also, of course, the last time Drexel won this CAA championship.
Ben McIntosh continuing to have a lot of success in the NLL game.
Though his rush team got upset last night.
They did. It was a big win for Colorado Mammoth. A couple big games coming up Monday night. My former Georgia Swarm teammates going up against Toronto in the first round.
We may have some future NLLers on this Drexel squad, especially with guys like Bowering and King.
And with the expansion, it's so exciting. The expansion of the NLL, a lot more opportunities for guys that maybe have never played box to get in and play some. So you've got the Canadians coming to play field lacrosse and more Americans getting the opportunity to go and play some box lacrosse.
Here comes Varian trying to get free, but Kobe Smith has been all over him today. Here's McClellan trying to beat his man at X. Pulled sideways, and there's Kobe Smith again for the run out.
A nice job by McClellan beating his man, just pulled the string a little too hard as he ripped that shot and pulled it back far side. But Cantor was taking up a lot of net down low and dropped down. If he could change planes and bring that high, that might have had a chance.
We mentioned Kobe Smith's laundry list of All-American candidates that he's faced this season. Pat Spencer, Jeff T, Ethan Walker.
The crucible, going through the crucible to get here.
I mean, the guy has been tested throughout, and it certainly speaks to the how difficult this Towson schedule was throughout the year, but you're seeing it now. This very well might be the best lacrosse the Tigers have played all season long.
Well, and that speaks to that RPI you mentioned. Playing these tough teams and playing them tight or beating them makes such a difference as you get into this really, really meaty part of the season as you're trying to make a run for a national championship.
Sunday tosses back out to Monahan. Tough pass handled by Montgomery, and he keeps it alive. Still 20 seconds on the shot clock for the Tigers. Montgomery out to Sunday. Swung over to Maloof. Back to Sunday. Shot high. And 7 seconds left on the shot clock, and Towson preparing for maybe one more run at this. They get some substitutes on. Monahan with 3. The double. And call there on Towson to give it to Drexel. Christopher Friedman brings it over, and possessions continue to be super important for Drexel in this CAA championship. Down by 6, nearing the midway point of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, plenty of time for Drexel to claw back. 6 goals, still a lot, but again, we talked about their face-offs.
Mailman, full head of steam, met, pulled down, still somehow has it. Shot off, draws the flag. He nearly got it to Bowering there on the doorstep. Colin Mailman finally drawing some yellow laundry.
Andrew O'Dare and Colin Mailman just hit full speed. That was 2 middleweights just clashing at full speed, bounced right off him, and then he just ran into a train wreck about 15-car pileup.
Got a 30-second hold on Zach Goodrich of Towson. This was after the collision that the penalty came in, and there's Goodrich got up underneath the helmet, tossed him down.
He certainly got up under him. And Bowering right there, if he had just gotten another inch on his stick, he might have picked that one off, been able to dunk it on Canto.
So this man-up unit that's been so good this year really could use a goal. Bowering beats his man at X. Shot just wide. He's just been a little off on a couple of these.
And that was the difference the first time these teams played. They were so effective, and Thursday night these guys were so efficient with every shot they took. This is where I want to see them continue moving the ball quickly.
Canto stop. Rebound scooped up by Varian. We're back to even strength. King down low to Bowering, and he buries that one.
Good catch by Genord to bail out. I don't know who sent that skip pass over, but that thing was coming up to the booth by us if it wasn't for Genord jumping up and making all use of that stick. Move it down, and Bowering makes no mistake.
This doesn't go down as a man-up goal, but essentially was, as Towson was still getting the defense settled with the extra man ending.
Looked like Cantor knew that was going, but he made the save too early. Bowering held on to it for an extra second and lifted that upstairs. So we got a 5-goal game here.
A hat trick for Bowering. A face-off win here for Coyta. Had a tough time with the ground ball, but able to grab it. But this has been the issue. Can he get it free? Quinn still hounded. 12 seconds left to get it over midfield, and they finally do.
And this is tough because this is where Drexel still has 2 timeouts. But with 7 minutes left, being down by 5, you want to save those. So you're just, if you're Coach Volker, you got your hands almost in that timeout motion, but you're praying that your man can get out of it so you don't have to burn that all-important timeout.
Colin Mailman, not afraid of the matchup with the All-American, gets free! And one! The Mailman delivers!
Wow. Wow, just an absolute effort by Colin Mailman, running through checks. You know, Goodrich, you can't ask for much more. He gets under him, he lifts him. Right here, he gets into him, he drives. He needs some support, doesn't get it, and Mailman just like a running back hitting the hole, just keeps his legs churning, keeps moving, chokes up on his stick and buries it, and then draws a flag at the end, which I didn't see if they called a slash or a push. It was a wiped out. It was a push, so it'll be wiped out.
Yeah, I believe we're back to even strength. Ran into Colin's parents after the game on Thursday night. Guess what his mom's name is? And I know you already
told me,
you
so
this.
I won't spoil the surprise.
His mom
is it Europe?
No, his mom's name is Canada. Canada Mailman. Bob in Canada in attendance once again today, watching their son play in the CAA championship game. Quickly the other way, stopped by Canto. That was huge. Grippo had a good look at it for Drexel, but Canto up to the stop.
And George Grippo probably had more time to set his feet and really let that thing go. A fading away, kind of gentle shot, that's not going to work on Canto. Canto has been so good this game.
Bowering nearly made a great play around midfield. But Towson able to clear, and a 4-goal lead now for the Tigers with 6 minutes to go in this championship.
And Travis, the shot clock, this part of the game is where I really love the shot clock. Early in the game, people have asked, does it make a big difference? I don't think so. I think teams have played with the pace maybe a little bit faster, but when it comes down to 5-6 minutes left in a 3 or 4 goal game, now teams aren't just sitting there. At least they have to bring it to the cage.
Sunday beats his man at X. Skip back up to Monahan, just high.
Sunday shook Matt Klingus there. Nice little move. Getting those big 6'5" hips moving.
Sunday is when he wants to, can be one of the most effective Dodgers using his size in the entire country. This is Maloof using a little bit of shake. Sends it behind to Brody McLean. 14 seconds left on the shot clock for Towson. Frommert wide open on the backside, just shot it wide, trying to change the angle.
And Travis, great slide by Drexel, but the on-ball defenseman needs to recognize and turn his man. They timed that up so nicely.
Late shot clock situation for Frommert. Turned away, and is that going to draw a flag? No, they say just right around the time when that horn sound. We've seen it in other games. We saw it in the Ivy League semifinal. You don't, if you're a player, don't throw that ball after the whistle because they'll get you with a penalty right away.
Yeah, and that was one where the clock is going, so that to me is not even close. Like if you blow it on that one, that's a tough call. but after the play is clearly a dead ball, just put the ball down.
And Friedman was in a little bit of trouble against Mo Silla, and Drexel will use a timeout. With 4:50 to go in this championship game. Dragons down by 4. Desperately needing some late goals here and to win some faceoffs. Coming up here in June on Lac Sports Network, the 2019 IWLCA All-American and Player of the Year Specials. We'll announce the All-Americans and Players of the Year for Divisions 1, 2, and 3 on 4 different specials in partnership with the IWLCA, coming in June right here to Lac Sports Network and the LSN app. Resetting things here in this championship game, it was a big run by Towson to get up to this 16 goals, but it's a 3-0 run here for Drexel to start the 4th, and they found their way back into this game. We talked about that Michigan game a little bit earlier for Drexel. They came back from 6 or 7 down in the 4th quarter, able to string together a bunch of goals. Colin Mailman with a couple of electric plays. They forced overtime, actually won it in the second overtime session on a Cam Harris goal out in Ann Arbor. So this Drexel team, not unfamiliar with being down late. Now we see what they can do against a defense that has proven to be one of the toughest in the entire country, especially in the conference.
Yeah, and that's a difference right now, I think, is who they're facing. Is Towson has so much poise on defense, and frankly, just their one-on-one matchups have been winning the one-on-one matchups on the defensive end. So they're going to have to come up with some special plays. They're going to have to make some unique individual efforts or really good ball movement off of unique individual efforts. So that's what they're going to look to do here, is draw a double and move it quickly twice. Maybe find Marshall King on the backside.
King has been really quiet. Still without a point. One of the starting attackmen on this Drexel team. Here's Varian. All the way through. Canto squeezed the legs and stopped it. King trying to scoop it home. And the back up to the Tigers.
And King does have 1 assist off the man up, but certainly want to get him a little bit more involved. He's being basically face guarded here. Would love to see them run some picks with him behind, maybe with Varian. Or up top for some of the midfielders, because he does run from the midfield, so getting him a look at the short stick, I wouldn't mind seeing that. And Varian almost snuck that thing through, but again, those big wrestling boots kicking that back down.
He's got tree trunks for legs, Tyler Canto. Here comes Matt Severo. Under 4 minutes to go for Towson.
And this is where probably the next 30 seconds, maybe after this shot clock, you're going to have to start doubling the ball. 4 goals, that's a lot of goals, so you're going to have to start putting some pressure on, making it difficult for them to kill all these 80 seconds.
Matt Severo fires high. Still 21 seconds on the shot clock for the Tigers. Their 5th straight CAA championship game appearance, looking to win their 4th in that time span.
Good Sunday, on ball D there.
Battled. Luke Frommert gets free, stopped by Blumenthal.
Nice.
Big loose ball needs to be won by Drexel, and they do.
And that Drexel got caught up high on that one. I thought that should have been a penalty, but nice job. That was so crucial to not give him the ball back after that save.
Cam Harris to Bowering. Every possession so important for the Dragons now. Genord thought about it. Steps across. A little wide there.
Great recovery by Mosilla there. I saw Genord throw that head fake, and I bid on it, but Mosilla did a nice job of breaking down, keeping his momentum going.
Varian battling with Kobe Smith again. That has been such a fun matchup to watch. Mailman trying to get a full head of steam. Takes a big hit. That shot sailed high.
I don't know what Mosilla ate for breakfast, but I want some of that.
It's been an animal out there. This is Genord, tries to get free. Canto with another stop. Now up to 17 saves for Tyler Canto, matching what he did in the regular season meeting. And here comes Kobe Smith. The sophomore smartly hands it off to the offense. There's 2 minutes to go in this CAA championship, but a turnover. It's back over midfield. Loose ball scooped up by Bowering, but poked free, and they'll get the over and back call, I believe. So Drexel ball with 1:50. Unforced error for Towson at the other end.
Yeah, and that's a tough one. They could have brought that under a minute there if they could have kept that one down. Now still, 4 goals, 2 minutes. That's a tall task. But why not kill the clock if you can with some unselfish play and taking the air out of the ball.
Officiating crew talking things over. Mike McCloskey, Jeff Thibodeau, Scott McCall. Reed Bowering doesn't realize that he's the guy who's going to start this thing on the wing. McClowan getting a full head of steam. Coming downhill. Swims, spins, and finishes! What an individual effort.
That was like the video game. You just keep pressing the buttons, jamming the buttons. He's dodging, juking, spinning. Nice job there to find the middle of the field. Beats Wilkerson in the middle, draws the double, beats the double, rolls around Wilkerson, switches hands, and buries. Just a nice play. Nice individual effort. Canto was on it. He just missed that.
1:41, 3-goal game. And Coita went early. And a lot of pressure on him at the face-off X to try to win, and he just jumped. So with 1:41 and an 80-second shot clock, this is double the ball time for Drexel. Tigers haven't scored in this fourth quarter, but they had built quite a lead. Enough to be able to hold on. Greg I took a shot afterward, but no call and no flag down.
And you can see Drexel's defense is just tired. They played a lot of defense earlier in the game, and they got the ball behind, which is what you want to do in a late clock, but they're just not able to shut off the adjacents because they're so exhausted.
Loose ball pushed over midfield. Scooped up by Drexel, and here come the Dragons. 50 seconds left.
They got to go to the hopper here.
Fox splits the defense, and he gets one. Don't get the trophy ready quite yet.
42 seconds now. Coita hasn't been make it take it, but he's been pretty strong. The key is, can he get the ball down there, get it to their attack, or take it himself? We talked about the Happy Gilmore play. Just shoot it from the first shot every time.
Coita's won 22 of 32 faceoffs against Jack McNown, the backup guy for the Tigers. Coita wins the draw. Now can he win the ground ball? He does.
They've got another timeout. Oh, that should have been a hold.
And it's scooped ahead to Grippo. Mailman, he's left alone. Feeds to Bowering on the doorstep. He shoots it wide. And the backup one by guess who? Kobe Smith.
Bowering, he's kicking himself on that one. He had so much time. Probably could have taken one more step upfield to increase his angle. Now they're going to have to 10-man this.
12 seconds, 11.
I guess they're just going to let this one run out.
Towson does have to get it over midfield, but it's going to happen with 2 seconds left. And the Tigers, once again roaring as the top team in the CAA. For the 4th time in 5 years, the Tigers, your CAA tournament champions. Coach Sean Nadelin told us earlier this year that there was a different feeling in the locker room this season when they came back after not winning the CAA championship last year, losing in this title game to UMass on this same field at Garber. And there was an attitude of, hey, we need to prove everybody that we're once again the top team in the CAA. They were used it in the weight rooms during the fall and in the winter and the practices in the spring. And they've gotten back on top of the CAA.
And I think you got to give a ton of credit to the senior leadership. That was the story at the beginning of the year. Guys like Woodall coming out, rededicating himself to fitness. Zach Goodrich, he's been the leader of this team probably since his freshman year, but really I think officially as a captain since his sophomore year. Coach Nadelin talks so highly of him, and just what a credit. They've got senior leadership across the board. We talk about the balance with Sunday and Maloof and Monahan, and then going all the way down to the defensive side with Patterson. They've got so many good leaders at every position, and then you throw in some of these freshmen that bring that energy and that youth to them. What a complete win, complete team, and they're looking to make some noise in this first round of the playoffs now.
And we've got Towson head coach Sean Nadelin joining us on the sideline. Coach, I know part of the rallying cry this year was you didn't like the taste in your mouths after losing in the championship game last year. How good does it feel to be back out on top?
It's a great feeling for these guys. Drexel obviously made it very difficult for us to feel this way. A ton of credit goes to those guys, not just in the CAA, but for their season, the way they turned it around. They struggled out of the gate, but Coach Volker and his team deserve a tremendous amount of credit. They took us to the wire here after us building a pretty good lead, but I couldn't be more proud of our guys and in the way they kind of stuck with it throughout the course of the season and be able to earn another CAA championship.
And talk about the ups and downs you've gone through with this senior class. I mean, from the Final Four to some of the off-field issues last year and now being able to come back and win the CAA. Talk about the leadership that they've provided throughout that tenure.
That's why we're here right now, being able to hoist this trophy. These guys led the way from really the time we left campus last spring after we lost to UMass in the championship last year at this time. The guys banded together. A senior group said we're not going to allow that to happen again. We're going to come back ready to go. Woodall was a big piece to that, what he did this summer and motivated others to fall in line. And it was great, to be able to win for those seniors, this championship, but also for Woodall, who can be on the field and make an impact that he's done all season for us this year.
You guys get the AQ, but I know there's a possible home game on the line. What do you say to the selection committee about a chance to play at Johnny Unitas Stadium one more time?
Hey, we're happy that we're in it. We never know what goes on in that room. We're excited that we're in it and we'll play. If we get to host, awesome. If we we've won the last 4 road games, so we're doing all right there. So we just got to know that we're in it and we got to be prepared and ready to go wherever it is.
Coach, congratulations. Enjoy this one.
Great, thank you. Hi at home, Mary, Megan, Will, Luke. How we doing at home, everybody? Towson, we love you guys.
There you go, Coach. Congratulations. Get a chance to say hi to the whole family at home.
All right. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Coach. What a moment, and he had a chance to say hi to all his family back home. Couldn't make the trip up here to UMass. Hopefully they're watching here on Lac Sports Network. We've got Brendan Sunday now standing by, who is the most outstanding player of these CAA championships. Brendan, I don't know if you knew that yet. What does that mean?
I didn't know that yet. But that's a great accomplishment, but I couldn't do it without my teammates. Everyone played great. I mean, the offense was buzzing the whole weekend, and we put up 18 in the first game, 16 in this game. It wasn't a one-man show, that's for sure. We always preach 1/6, just doing your part in the offense, and we did that this weekend, and it really showed.
And Brendan, what do you think you guys will have to do in the playoffs to continue this momentum and this streak if you want to take it deep?
We always just talk about it's about us. Everything we do, it's about us. I mean, we scout our opposing team, but we pretty much just focus on ourselves pretty much every day we go out there. We're just trying to be the best version of ourselves pretty much going into playoff time. So I think we're kind of hitting our stride right now, and that's a great thing.
Brendan, this has to mean so much for you guys after last year. You don't get it done in this championship game on this same field. What was the message throughout this season to this team about getting back here and this time hoisting the trophy?
I mean, I don't think you'd find a more determined group, honestly. We took it pretty seriously when we lost last year, and everyone, after we lost, we sat in the locker room for a little bit. We talked about it, and we all committed to the process. And it really showed. When everyone went home in the summer, you could tell when they came back. I think almost everyone passed our run test. Our weight room weights went up. Everything was just better and more improved. Our compete level, we were way more accountable. And just throughout the whole year, we just kept chipping away. There was times during the season we only had a few guys. We had a few guys out of practice, and people were taking double, triple reps. So just little things like that just really prepared us for today.
Hey, Brendan, they're about to call your name, so we're going to let you go. Congratulations, man. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
Congrats.
Just in time, Brendan Sunday is going to get a loud standing ovation from his teammates as he gets to hoist the Most Outstanding Player Award of this CAA tournament. He's normally a soft-spoken guy, but apparently he wanted to talk. Went long for that last answer. We were holding up the celebration here.
Maybe he was trying to get out of all the spotlight and the glare of being in front of the entire team.
Brendan Sunday, your Most Outstanding Player, and now we have the presentation of the CAA Championship Trophy. Zach Goodrich, Jimmy Wilkerson, Alex Woodall, and Brendan Sunday, your captains for this Tigers team. Accepting the trophy along with head coach Sean Nadalin. You mentioned it, the guys that had been part of that Final Four team in 2017, especially Goodrich and Woodall playing such a key part of that team that made it to the Final Four. Well, they're going to have a run after one more.
Yeah,
in their senior season.
These guys are the core of their team. You look at that. You add Canto into that mix, and these guys are the ones that are leading the charge. So great to see them having the success, and looking forward to watching them continue to compete in the NCAA tournament.
The celebration on in Towson, Maryland. Once again, your final score, Towson 16, Drexel 14. The Tigers, once again, your CAA champions. For Mitch Belisle, our producer Dillahan, and our entire crew, I'm Travis Eldridge. Thanks for watching the CAA Game of the Week all season long here on LSN. We've got one more great game for you coming tomorrow, the CAA Women's Championship at James Madison between the Dukes and the Hofstra Pride. That's coming your way at noon Eastern Time. But for now, saying goodbye for the final time in the men's CAA Game of the Week slate, we send you back to the LSN Broadcast Center for CAA Championship postgame.